But if we're hitting a save point here, we're not likely to finish in the next hour. So count on Thursday. Or no, wait. What's today? Monday? Should I play more of this Tuesday? Or should I... What other game do I have lined up? Anything? Nothing. I guess we'll play this on Tuesday, because I haven't been thinking about if there's another game I want to play. Yes, this is still the Pawnbroker's Murder. So this is the article in question, is it? The small box deposited with the pawnbroker by Mr. McIlden 2 months ago. And on the night of Mr. Windibank's murder, the only item on the shelves that was touched by whoever broke into the shop. Quick, let's open it and see what's inside. Bees! Good gracious, this is no ordinary box, it seems. Wow! Although, in truth, I had an inkling that might be the case. No, I didn't. It will appear that the box houses a miniature music box movement. Then, is it too much to expect? I think it would be reasonable to assume it is a device for the playback of this disc, my lord. So, here we have the means to play back Mr. McIlden's disc, deposited at Windibank's at much the same time. Not strictly correct, my lord. It was not McIlden's disc. It was the disc of his victim in the omnibus. Oh, did I hit auto by mistake? Stop that. But why, for heaven's sake? Are we to understand that the brickmaker was trying to sell this music box disc to Mr. McGilded? Don't play it back, it's cursed. It could be. I have no reason to believe the answer will become clear if we listen to the music on the disc, my lord. It's not like it can even... It'd be one thing if it was like, oh, it's a phonograph record, so it plays back, somebody saying what the secret code to the bank vault is or whatever. This is just gonna be notes. Bunch of bullshit. Very well. Let the court now listen to this curious disc at last. Hold it! Wait, my lord. Good grief, what is the meaning of this, Inspector? The music box and the disc are... well, they're unrelated to this case. No need to spoil the somber atmosphere in the courtroom with some silly bit of music. Objection! The disc may very well have motivated the culprit in this case to commit murder. Clearly, there's every chance that it's fundamentally important to understanding what happened. The prosecution has no objection. But no, that piece of evidence is police property now. You can't... Clearly, Scotland Yard has some vested interest here, but it is policy of this prosecutor to leave no avenues unexplored. Zero avenues. And you, Inspector, have no jurisdiction here to prevent that from happening. Garg! No further delays, please. Play the disc. Bomb armed. Take the note off. Is it Morse code? I mean, it kind of can't be because there are no long and short ones. Like all of the tones are the same length. Also, why would the dots be spread out across all of the different teeth of the no, none of this makes sense. What on earth? That's certainly not what I would call music. I can't twerk to this. No. It's just the same note playing over and over again in a regular sequence. Mr. Graydon? This really is priceless. After all that, the music box is broken. Broken? It can't be, can it? Well, obviously. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the officer Santa Feta didn't drop it on the way back to the courtroom. If you were let's say that my imagination is wrong and that you can have some notes that are long and some that are short so that it was more encoded Morse code, you could still make them different notes to actually disguise it as music instead of having people immediately say, well, this has got to be a message of some kind. I mean, yeah, I guess if the dots are spread out, then the sound should also be, unless it's a special music box where every single note is just the same note. Well, with much regret, I feel the court must accept that this music box offers little in the way of clues. Are you ready to move on, counsel? Come on! Yes. Alright, it does sound as though it's completely broken, but is it? Could this music emanating from the music box possibly be a new clue? It could be a clue. I believe that it could be relevant, my lord. Good lord, but how can it be? It's an abomination, counsel. Mere noise. I fail to see how it can have any meaning whatsoever. It does sound strange, I agree. But I'm starting to like it. But there's one thing bothering me. While Graydon stands there chortling victoriously. Wait a minute. Was the word chortle invented back 100 years ago? I don't think it was. Because that was coined by Lewis Carroll through the Looking Glass. When was that written? Somebody look it up. The inspector beside him has a rather telling expression on his face. It's as if Gregson recognizes the sound, as if he's familiar with it somehow. And that's making him appear extremely on edge. You could have different pins that resonated longer or shorter to give you dots and dashes. I'm no music box expert, so I will defer to your expertise. I guess there we go. I was trying to think of like a funny thing to say. But your kids are gonna love it. Go! Go, Johnny, go, go, go! If that's the stance of the defense, my Nipponese friend, answer me this. Oh! Just what relevance do you propose this woeful chiming has on this case? Dots! Also dashes. Is not supposed to be music. I kind of want to say an unusual genre, even though I'll lose a hit point. It could be an unusual genre of music that none of us are familiar with. Wait, there was a chortle that meant something other than laughing? Counsel, would you care to elaborate on that remark? Well, it could be a new style of music that's about to take the world by storm, for example. You have to believe me, I came here in a time machine. This guy is not paying attention. I think not, counsel. Such monotonous nonsense could be pleasing to no one's ear, surely. Bang-a-rang! Well said, my lord, and here's to my learned friend seeing that remarks through me. Narg! The music, or whatever you want to call it, has to be relevant somehow, which might actually be the point. Let's see if you grasp the question better next time around. Not supposed to be music. Just because this is a music box doesn't necessarily mean the sounds we're hearing are music. Look at that, the smile vanished from Graydon's lips as soon as I said it. I'm on the right lines here, I must be. Making deductions based on how people react to what you say. You're acting just like Hurley, Bruno. The sounds we're hearing aren't necessarily music. Well, now that you've told us what they are not, I'm sure the court would like to hear what they are. Do enlighten us, my Nipponese friend. Well, surely you have an idea in mind, because if not, it will be the death of your ill-formed argument. I see where this is going. You're going to have to define art. Good luck.
Exactly. The music box is clearly broken. Refusing to accept that fact is pure foolishness.
They've got me. I don't know what the answer is yet. Bruno? I've just examined the music box very thoroughly. Nobody told you could touch it. You're 10 years old. And I'm fairly certain that it's not broken at all. Really? That's what I said. Really, the way it's been made, it can only produce a single note anyway. Ah ha ha ha! Thank you, Iris. Alright, well, if the music box isn't broken, it must mean that the sounds it's producing have some significance that isn't musical. Ah! Could it be? Is that what these sounds are? Something's just struck me, Runo. I feel like recently, in the past few hours even, I've heard another sound very much like the one this music box makes. Yeah, it's the juror number 5. Yes, it's a familiar sound. Actually, Iris, I was just thinking exactly the same thing. I'm going to have to press the defense for an answer. If your assertion is that the sound produced by this music box is not in fact music at all, then what the devil is it, counsel? All the evidence we've seen so far, all the testimony we've heard, it's all pointing to one single answer now. The prosecution demands that my learned Nipponese friend presents proof, now. Tangible proof of this latest wild speculation. Alright then, this could be the best chance I'm going to get to fight back in this trial. If I'm right, it's going to join all the dots together with dashes. The evidence that explains the true nature of this. Oh no. There's no juror number 5 in my court record. Where else did we see? Where did I see Morse code? Not there. Does the thing about the secrets on the back say something about Morse code? Classified secrets, secret communications, intercepted by hostile nations, communications being intercepted. So, I mean, it's gonna be related. It's gonna be, oh, there's national secrets on the disc, but where? True, yeah, the Russian guy could be a spy. I mean, he wouldn't want it played regardless, because, you know, it would put everybody closer to understanding what was going on, but what? The evidence that explains the true nature of the sounds on these music box discs is something I never found somehow. Where? I mean, I could submit the newspaper, but it seems like this is a big leap, because it seems like we should first establish this is Morse code before we say it's national secrets. But I'm gonna try this.
Take that!
Today's paper, council. What is the red thing? Do I have a red thing in the court record? If it's this, that's the notes for the McGilded case. That's the only red thing I got. Maybe one gun makes small bullet holes and the other one makes long bullet holes. The headline is Pawnbroker Perishes in Pick-Purse Plunder. Heartily supportive of your cause. No, my lord, I was hoping you'd look a little further down the page. Further down? Ministry mole classified secrets may have been leaked overseas for Ministry of Justice. Yes, this is a very serious matter being investigated at the highest level, I understand. I have heard that international transmissions along supposedly secure lines are somehow being intercepted and leaked to various other countries. And presumably those transmissions are in the form of wired telegrams? Of course. Juror number 5, your input, please. Stop. Oh, me, sir? Whatever is the matter? You told the court before that you worked at the same communications station as Mr. Graydon, did you not? Yes, that's correct. And the particular station where you work deals with government communications and newspaper reports? Oh, yes, we're not your run-of-the-mill communication station at all. Our work is extremely important. Then tell me, is this not a very familiar sound? She just immediately starts, tapping it out, like... Klaatu Verada Nict... You don't mean to say, is it? That's right, madam. It bears more than a passing resemblance to the sound made by your telegraph machine as you tap it. I believe it's called Morse code. But I don't believe it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to leaking telegrams from government departments, there could be nobody more perfectly placed than a highly skilled communications officer. Are you suggesting that the music box disc contains stolen government secrets in Morse code? Order! Please, everyone, order! But this is high treason, Council. Deserving of capital punishment. It's almost as serious as perjury. Too much new vocabulary. What is this treason? What is capital punishment? The sorts of words I'd half expect you to know. For our sovereign government's confidential information, hostile nations would surely pay almost any price. Yes, and on that night, 2 months ago, that was the very negotiation that was taking place inside the omnibus. But
in the end, McGilded perished and the all-important disc lay unclaimed in the pawnbrokery. My word!
In which case, whoever stole that information in the first place must surely have been beside himself with worry. Because if the disc were to be discovered before it found its way out of the country,
it would reveal an act of high treason, punishable by death.
So the culprit had no choice but to retrieve it, and in order to do that, he would have to gain entry to the pawnbrokery illegally in the middle of the night. Because the article left behind by Mr. McGilded would incriminate him too much if it got into the wrong hands. 360 no scope, isn't that right, Mr. Graydon? You can just say no. We have proven nothing.
You think I've been stealing government secrets? Preposterous. Absolutely preposterous. Also, don't I get a lawyer or something if you're going to accuse me of something I can be put to death for?
So in response to the defense's accusation, you claim complete innocence, do you?
Well, of course I do. I've had to stand here in silence while that pretentious foreign lawyer has been prattling away.
Objection!
Then by all means counter the charges, sir. The prosecution demands the witness testifies in response to the accusations brought by the defense. Delighted, I'm sure.
The witness is reminded that the crime under scrutiny in this trial is the murder of the pawnbroker, Mr. Winterbank. That being a most flagitious. That's a brand new word. A most flagitious offense, for which the law of this land sanctions a capital punishment. But the heinous act of high treason is no less serious a crime. You overcooked chicken, capital punishment. I urge you to bear that in mind as you testify, Mr. Graydon, without a lawyer. So then, let us proceed. What do you want? You gotta let us have a rabbit and pork here, Governor. We got things to say. A rabbit and pork? A jork? I beg your pardon? Who do you think you are? My name's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is professional baddie.
My name's Ringo Skulkin, but we ain't baddies enough to show our motherland.
That's right. But what they call the Three Skulkin Brothers. Bad timing, fellas. Very bad timing. Rabbit and pork. A spork. Makes sense. Flagitious. An older word than chortle. I see. Did anyone else know that chortle it comes from Alice Through the Looking Glass, specifically the Jabberwock poem?
A mere communications officer couldn't possibly steal confidential government information. Besides, the sounds produced by that music box aren't even Morse code. There's some low-class brickmaker negotiating with McGilded anyway. Was it not? I've no relation to the man.
Look, all we done is break into the gaff the other night like what he told us to do.
If we know there was dodgy government secrets involved, we wouldn't have touched it.
Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, Well, Mr. will do, Governor. What's up? Do I take it that you now admit to the crime? That on the night in question you did indeed gain entry to the premises illegally? And moreover, you did so as a party of 3 in collaboration with Mr. Graydon here? We did, Gov, we did. But that's perjury! Quieten? Quieten down? Are we suddenly what's her name from Octopath Traveler? I think we are. Quieten down, please. What say you to that, Mr. Graydon?
I have no idea what these 2 ruffians are referring to.
You little rotter. You little rotter. Getting us mixed up in all this monkey business. You never said nothing about no government secrets. It was supposed to be a straight-up job. And what about the geezer who shop it was, eh? Poor bloke didn't have to die, did he? Ugh. Nice to know who your friends are.
Whatever these men say, I deny the accusations.
Indeed. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting this little music box to become so significant in the proceedings. However, as it has, I will admit it into the court record as evidence. It is more perjury. He's gonna get 100 death penalties. Hold it! So is this newspaper headline accurate? Government communications are being intercepted?
How can I possibly know?
What do you mean by that?
Any important government communications are handled by high-level officers, by specialists. General members of the station where I work would never be entrusted with sensitive information.
Oh no, stop. Must say something. Stop. Yes. Juror number 5. We regular communication station officers aren't as lowly as you're being led to believe. A team of us are responsible for setting up and testing the telegraphs used by the Ministry. And Mr. Graydon is the team leader. That's fascinating. Graydon is highly skilled operator. Stop. Currently in presence of idol. Stop. Her eyes are shining. So you have access to the equipment used for these confidential communications, Mr. Graydon.
Well, what of it? The transmissions are always made behind closed doors, so they can't be heard. And in any case, all messages are sent in cipher. Normal employees couldn't possibly understand them.
Oh no, stop. Must say something. Stop. Mr. Graydon regularly attends meetings with Ministry technicians and the Ministry communications team. He assists them in ensuring there are no errors in important international communications, and he's received the top prize at the Cipher Cracking Convention 5 years in a row now. That's fascinating. Graydon is highly skilled operator. Stop. Currently in presence of idol. Stop.
Well, your idol would appreciate it if you keep your mouth shut.
Really pick our idols more carefully. I recommend virtual idols only.
I tell you, this lawyer's accusations are completely unfounded.
They aren't even Morse code. They're not?
To anyone with a brain, that would be blatantly apparent on listening to that music box for even a few seconds.
Of course, of course. Surely, it can't be that my learned friend is unfamiliar with Morse code. Ouch, she looks genuinely shocked at my ignorance. I would be more than happy to demonstrate the basics for you, sir. A lesson here in court? Morse code is a continuous series of 2 distinct tones. Tones, you say? Yes, a short dot and a long dash. By combining those two in different ways, you construct letters. There's a second disc. That's right, there's a second disc. Do you need a different box to play it? Maybe. Maybe one of them has the dots and the other has the dashes. I see. For example, this is A. And this is B. When you listen to the sound produced by this music box, you only hear one tone, don't you? But it sounds so similar. The rhythm of it is the same and everything.
But there is no discernible meaning to this apparently random sequence of sounds. So your assertion is fundamentally flawed. This is not Morse code.
No!
Really, you shouldn't be so surprised. What did I tell you? That music box is nothing but a worthless piece of scrap. Perhaps you might consider studying your subject matter before casting aspersions in the future.
Ugh, stop. Nothing to say but stop. Oh, it's so frustrating, isn't it? Iris? I mean, if the government secrets were somehow being leaked using the music box, so many other things would slot into place so nicely. Could there still be something I haven't considered? Would it really be impossible to use this music box somehow to play back Morse code? I haven't examined it yet. Is there a tiny switch on the bottom? I think there is. Oh, what is it, Runo? I've just noticed something about this music box. It looks like the bottom of it opens up as well. You're right. Well, come on. You, lady, you said that you thoroughly examined this music box in order to determine that it wasn't broken. You even looked at the inside to see that each of the keys, each of the teeth only makes a single noise. How did you not find this? I'm disappointed. You're fired. And you're going to jail. Alright, then here goes. Look at that. There's another movement on the other side. On the underside. So, does that mean you can set another disc to play back on this side? Yes, I think so, and it looks like the two movements are linked together. They're linked? So if you had two discs, they would both play back at the same time. What if the inspector's fish and chips? How's the other... You cross your ears. Cross your ears while listening. There's still every possibility that this music box was instrumental in leaking of government secrets. That's the belief of the defense, at least.
Objection!
Does it please you in some way? Does it please you in some way, my Nipponese friend, to repeat the same line of argument ad infinitum? That's a very high number. It's already been established that to be Morse code, 2 tones are required. 2 dots and dashes. Yes! Falcon awareness! Then what? Well, it would appear the defense has a hypothesis to put forward. You had better present your idea at once, counsel. How do you propose that this music box, which appears to produce only a single tone, could have been used to cipher secret messages into Morse code? I don't know, try pushing the button on the bottom, idiot. Oh. Do it. I can't fast forward. Isn't this the same? It's the same, but I can't fast forward through it. Got it! Got it! good gracious, what am I looking at here? Another movement on the other side, underside of the music box? My assistant, she took a boat back to Japan because her father is sick. But she will, of course, burst into the courtroom in order to give us the final piece of evidence once we're at the 99% mark and we're just about to lose. What? It appears, my lord, that the two movements are linked together. In other words, you can put two discs in this music box, and the sounds of both will play back at the same time. Good heavens! As the court has heard, Morse code comprises of two tones, a short dot and a long dash. With a second disc in place, this music box could be used to generate Morse code and convey a message.
This is beyond a joke. It's beyond a rabbit and pork.
I'm sorry?
This poor excuse for a lawyer has absolutely no evidence to support his claims.
Though, of course, if my learned friend were able to present the court with the second disc, that would be another matter. Well? I can't at the moment. May I remind the court that, as the witness has pointed out, he was not the one in the omnibus with McGilded two months ago, striking a deal over the disc or discs. Indeed, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker.
Exactly. I had nothing whatsoever to do with it.
Though it has holes, I must admit the argument presented by the defense has much promise. I believe the cross-examination should continue. The link between Graydon and the victim of the omnibus case must be there somewhere, but I haven't found it yet. Oh dear, it looks like you need to give your argument more strength, Runo. You'll reiterate your testimony if you please, Mr. Graydon.
If I must, though I maintain exactly what I did at the start of this pointless cross-examination.
So, the sounds aren't even Morse code. So the first two things that he said have been completely contradicted. But he's sticking to them. No relation to me. All we done is break into the gaff like the other night. That's what he told us to. Hold it! So 2 months ago in that omnibus, McGilded killed the brickmaker and stole the disc. Mr. Mason was a single man with almost nothing to his name. It seems he lived in an artisan quarter some years ago, but people there remember little about him. That doesn't make much sense, though, does it? How would a humble brickmaker come to acquire secret government information?
How indeed?
There must have been somebody else involved behind the scenes in all of this. Someone with lots of windows who could afford the window tax. Somebody who acquired the disc and gave it to Mr. Mason in order to take it to the meeting with McGilded and negotiate a deal with the Chief Justice.
Dear me. You may have it in for me, sir, but I assure you I have far more class than that.
An old brickmaker from an artisan quarter and this well-to-do communications officer. If only I could find some evidence to link the two of them together. If you have nothing more to add on that note, let us return to the witness testimony. Hold it! Like Mr. Graydon told you to do, you mean? That's it, yeah. Who else, eh? Silly me thought he was just popping over for a natter after all them years, but the Rada had a dodgy job for us. Hey, Ash. Let me stop you there, Mr. Skulkin. After all them years, you say? Do you mean to tell me that Mr. Graydon is an acquaintance of yours? but a sociable kind of baddies, you know? Sure, let's say Graydon's an old China. An old China plate? Mate? Oh yes, we already had that one.
Excuse me.
Is something wrong, Mr. Skulkin? Eh? No, the other Mr. Skulkin. What? Oh, me? When your brother was testifying just now, he said something that seemed to cause you to react.
Oh, I just remember the old days, that's all. We used to have a right old laugh back in the day. We used to have a right old laugh together, way back when.
Together with Mr. Graydon, you mean? He's eating a pear now.
Yeah, what fash? I mean, look at him now, his fancy whistle and fruit. You wouldn't Adam and Eve it. But when he was younger, he was from the poor part of town, just like us.
Oh, well, that's convenient. Is that so?
But he was always a leery one. He had the brains, he had the savvy. Always coming up with smart ideas like what would never have gone through our heads.
God blimey, ain't that the truth? Remember Milverton and Skulkin's milk run? Milverton? Milverton? That was a corker, eh?
Save it until after the trial. Your reminiscing has no place in this courtroom. And neither does your fruit.
Oi, the geezer asked us a question, didn't he? And we was answering.
Yeah, we ain't done nothing wrong.
Nevertheless, the court is not prepared to accompany you on your trip down memory lane. Counsel, can we turn our attention back to the testimony, please? I don't know. Could that sentimental story be relevant somehow? My lord.
Yes, counsel?
The brothers' last sentimental statement could hold vital information relating to this case.
Very well, counsel. I will permit the brothers to supplement their testimony with that detail. Briefly, I hasten to add.
Say no more. Skulkin's never skulkin'. Milverton and Skulkin. So do I just press on it? I can't contradict it. Sure, I'm going to regret asking, but what exactly was that? Some kind of business? Just a little scheme we had going back when we was youngsters. A bit of fun, really.
Delivering fresh milk to the locals, that's what it was. That's what it was all about.
Sounds alarmingly legit. There must be a catch. Fruit, not allowed in the courtroom. Fish and chips, A-okay. The business name. So this business was just a bit of fun, you say? And it was just yourselves and Mr. Graydon involved? Yeah, that's it. Milverton and Skulkin's milk run, was it?
Yeah, that's it.
And where did the Milverton part come from? Right, I thought clever cogs like you would work. What?
Enough of this. How much longer are we expected to listen to this drivel?
Let me guess, you don't accept anything these two witnesses are saying. Oops. Tell me, why is it that it was only at the mention of the name Milverton that you decided to interject?
Because well...
One of the Apis homes that one came from.
Yeah, his old man was struggling for money so much his wife walked out on him.
It's his maiden name. She took the name Graydon then, you see.
But Ash will always be Milverton to us.
Milverton. So that used to be your surname, did it?
Of course not. This is all bunkum.
Okay.
I've been a Graydon since I was born. Do you think you can rely on the testimony of these two thieves? You're a communications officer attached to the civil service. As such, your personal details will have been thoroughly checked at the time of your appointment. It would be a very simple matter, indeed, to subpoena those records, Mr. Graydon.
Ugh!
Well, it would appear that Mr. and Mr. Skulkin's testimony has been reliable for once. You were born Ashley Milverton, then. Is that correct?
Very well. So Ashley Graydon was once Ashley Milverton. That information could change things and could turn out to be extremely important. All of a sudden, we seem to be up to our necks in a serious matter of national security, although all this talk about interception of secret government messages is still conjecture at this stage. It would explain a number of things, though, wouldn't it? The negotiation Ginny overheard on the omnibus 2 months ago, and the break-in at Windibanks. But the trouble is, it wasn't Mr. Graydon in the omnibus with Mr. McGilded. No, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker. Mr. Milverton Mason. Mason Milverton? His name has Milverton in it somewhere. Mason Milverton. Etymology of all sorts of delightful old words. It was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker. He murked those bricks. If only there were some link between the two men somehow. I know, but Mr. Graydon's testimony seems as watertight as ever. I wonder if the key to us making headway with the cross-examination here could be those two brothers. Take that.
Objection.
Or objection. And it is past 9. Let's... Yeah, this is a fine point to stop at. And tomorrow we'll see about finishing up the whole game, maybe. I have like a rough idea of how long Phoenix Wright cases are, and the last episode is always the longest, but I feel like 3 hours is enough time to get to the end of this. Barely any stats added today, very true. We'll have to try twice as hard tomorrow. Ouch. So thank you everyone for being here. It's always a delight to have you guys around. Same time tomorrow for, like I said, maybe the conclusion, maybe not. We shall see. Trial stats, excellent. The best. Alright, so that's it for tonight. Thank you, and have a good night.